I told you we'd be right back, and we are right back down here at Buffalo Billiards. More interviews. I'll keep doing them. I think we have at least one more next. So yeah, we have Strombella's coming up in a few. That will be cool. So hey, we've got more. These fine gentlemen have sat down. Liily, introduce yourselves. Introduce yourselves. We'll start on the far end.
I am Charlie.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Sam.
I'm Max.
And they're in a band, and they're called Liily.
Yes.
That's all I have so far. So from there, you guys take it. What would you like to know about me?
Well, how old are you?
I don't want to talk about that right now. Next question. Welcome to Austin, Texas, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. I see by the big black X's on your hand that you're mighty young to be in a band. And,
Actually, we're really old.
Is that what they do?
Yeah.
Good. Then maybe I can tell you my age.
We're past the drinking age.
So, young guys, I'm assuming in rock bands already. Why is this your chosen point of life, being in a band? And are you crazy? Have you learned nothing yet? Is it too early?
I mean, I don't know. I think it was just we just naturally gravitated towards it. There's nothing else. Not to sound vague, not to sound vague, but there's nothing else that's really interesting.
You could be YouTube stars, man. YouTube.
Yeah.
You should have your own blog. That's what people tell me.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time. You should have your own YouTube channel. Yeah, that's
Nah.
original. Next.
Well, like, I mean, I guess to answer your question, like, yeah, we love being in a band, and we're in one right now. We might not be one forever, you know. It's just like this is what we like doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
And have you guys been playing together a very long time?
Couple
Fairly new?
years.
Two
years?
2.5, yeah.
So how old were you when you started putting music together?
Well, we started when I was 14. We started this when I was 14.
Okay.
But it didn't get completed till probably a year or a year and a half later.
And how serious are you as 14 when you're starting to create music and decide, like, did you guys feel like you were in a band? Did you feel
It
like
was just fun.
it was just, okay,
We
we're just
thought we
playing,
were really
we're
cool.
noodling around and
Yeah.
we're playing some guitar, we're making some tunes.
I was a little asshole.
Most
He
kids
was.
are. I'm not
He
a kid.
was.
I'm still an asshole. So I take pride in it, actually. Just ask around, they'll all tell you. But at what point did you realize, like, oh, wait a minute, this can be more than fun. This can actually be something cool. This can be something that we do.
Well, I think when you're 14 and 15 and playing, you're doing it for very different reasons.
You're doing it for fun because it's interesting.
You're doing it for fun, but you know, especially when you're 14, you know, and you're in a band and nobody else at school is in a band. It's that sense of there's something more special that I'm doing here, and you're 14, so you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a rock star, and I'm gonna like so there's always sort of like in the back of your head like, why couldn't I do this forever? And then you get older and perspectives change, but there's still, I mean, we're still here, so there's obviously still a love for it.
Right.
So it just becomes more of an artful experience and love for it rather than a 14-year-old's like, I'm in a band with my best friends and, you know, I want to be a rock star.
Well, you guys are obviously doing a little bit more than just like, oh, we're just young guys, we're kind of noodling around. I mean, you've got management, you're working, you've got people bringing you in, you've got representation, so you're on the right track, obviously. How did that all get started? At what point did people start to sniff around and take
Was
notice?
that a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I think, it was a year and a half ago. I think it was, I think we started to take ourselves a little more seriously. I mean, obviously, to a certain extent, because, you know, if you take yourself too seriously doing music, then it can come out a little, seems like it's processed, you know, and that's kind of.
It's called Radiohead. It's called Radiohead. You can say it. It's called Radiohead.
Well, I think what he means is like our friends were getting ready to go to college,
Yeah.
and we weren't. That's not where we were set on. We
Right.
were just, you know, content with what we were doing. But we were playing people's houses and you know, warehouse shows, and eventually the guy that owns our record label, he knew him somehow, or he knew a friend of a friend knew him, and he came to a show. And then it
And
just,
I was finishing up high school when we first started, so we didn't actually. That kind of like put a hinge in a lot of what we were doing. We didn't get to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I
because
imagine you
of that.
can't tour much when you're, you know, studying for finals and trying just
Yeah.
to get the hell out of high school and
Yeah.
put that behind you.
yeah. And me and Max were in other bands too, and so it wasn't focused.
Yeah.
Well, how did you land on Liily? Like, who steps forward and goes, all right, this is going to be the concept, this is going to be the music, this is going to be the sound? Who decided that? Was there a decision made?
There was no
I
decision.
think we're still trying to figure that out. I think that's the whole.
And yet here you are at
know?
South by with label and management and people working the records, all that good stuff.
I think most bands don't figure it out for a minute. You know,
Some bands
There's
never
nothing-
figure it
yeah,
out,
they don't.
Well,
and
there's
they're
nothing
still
to
quite
figure
successful.
out.
What's
You know,
that?
There's nothing to figure out. You just do it. If you're doing it and you like it, then just keep doing it.
At what point does this become a job to you guys? Has it become a job yet?
Yeah.
Well,
it's
kind
only.
of.
Well,
I mean, it's
it's
like
a
half.
Because you have to do stuff like this. Like this, I get it. Like this stuff isn't fun. Like for some people say, we really enjoy the interviews and stuff and the press, and like that's got to be the worst part. If I were a musician, the
Well, the
best
wor-
part would be going on stage
Yeah.
and performing the shows, and then after the shows, having some drinks and talk to some cool people. Like that's the best part. Do you want to go talk to some guy that you don't know? Yeah, that sounds like a
Well,
blast. Let's go. What time do we have to be
I
there?
think-
The worst part about press is when they ask you the same question over
Like
and
I'm doing
over
right
again.
now.
No, but
No,
you're,
no,
you're,
no,
this
is
no,
actually
you're
different.
having a conversation with us. This
Yeah.
is different. It's like some people just don't do the research. Even just a Google search of Liily, and then
Right.
they keep asking you the same questions. That's when it becomes annoying.
And also, I think going back to your question, if people like doing press 9 out of 10 times, then they're probably in the wrong profession in music, I would say.
I think that over time, as bands mature or as their career takes a trajectory, they have to become. You have to be comfortable with it eventually.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
it's a necessary evil, I
No,
would
it
say.
is.
But and then I was asking earlier about at what point does this become a job? Because a lot of musicians that I know that have been around for a while, like they'll always know, like I knew at this pivotal. I can't say the word today. Pivotal point that this became a job because I had to do something that I wasn't completely in love with. But in order to continue to do the job that I love, I had to do it, and that's when I realized, oh yeah, this is a job. I gotta feed my family now. So it
No, I
became a
understand the
different game.
comfortability, but yeah, of course. No, I wasn't. Yeah, no, I get it.
It's okay. I'm not mad. We're friends.
Yeah.
We're good. With those eyes, how could I ever be mad at you? How can you stay mad at this guy?
You can
Look
stay
at that.
mad at him.
Oh, is it
Yeah, you
possible?
can stay mad at him.
Stays on a bus for 6 weeks, you can be mad at him.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
easy. It's easy.
Yeah.
So have you guys done a lot of touring? So everyone's done with high school, I'm assuming?
Yes.
And so you've been able to get out on the road.
Yes. We
And
just finished.
Do you van it or do you have a bus?
We van.
Van.
See, that's how you become a tight-knit group. That's how, there'll be some black eyes along the way, but that's how you
Oh,
become
yeah.
a little more tight-knit. Have you gotten into fisticuffs yet?
Huh?
Have you gotten into fights? Have you?
No.
We've actually we get
Pretty
along
mellow?
pretty well.
Y'all seem pretty mellow.
Yeah.
We just got off a tour and it felt seamless. We
Yeah?
didn't really get into it at all.
Yeah.
'Cause I knew bands that would go out in a bus or on a van, and they'd come back. Literally, they'd all have black eyes. Like they'd always just
Yeah.
beat the crap out of one another.
Well, I
not the
Good
right-
friends, by the way. I would
Yeah.
assume.
Well, and the other thing too is, we exert a lot of energy on stage, and we play like 5 times a week, so we don't really have the energy to get into each other's
If
faces.
I just have
you
no
know?
energy left, you leave it on
Yeah.
the stage.
I mean, yeah,
That's what's important.
yeah.
And also, like, we didn't go into it with expectations. I think maybe,
Yeah.
possibly, I think a lot of those bands, they get into little arguments because they come in with all these crazy expectations
And
of what the tour is
egos.
going to be like. And
Well, I'm
and
sure a
it's-
lot of it's ego, a
Yeah.
lot of it's cocaine, a lot of it's alcohol. I'm sure
It's
that
also
is a large part.
stereotypes.
Yeah.
What's
Like
that?
stereotyping going
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
tour.
but no, but
it's
see,
like
the
what
thing
you're
i-
supposed to do on
Yeah,
tour.
but
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
there's those bands though that there's plenty of them still around that like just love the stereotypes.
They want because
they wanna
that's
be
what
the
being a
fucking
rock and roll.
band.
That's what
Yeah.
rock and roll star is to them. I was taking my lift down on Tuesday, and the drivers here in Austin, like a lift guy, like he has like 8 TV cameras in his vehicle, and I guess it's supposed to be entertaining or whatever. And he's playing music from his own playlist from his computer, and it's kind of bizarre. But anyway, Motley Crue came on, and he was like, "Oh, Motley Crue, man, those guys really know how to party." And I'm like, I just
Yeah.
felt like they were living, like they wanted to be Ozzy Osbourne. Like
Yeah.
I felt like they thought they were the Stones, and they thought that's what they were supposed to do, and they did a ton of cocaine and snorted ants. Like I felt
Yeah.
like it was like a charade that they were putting on.
This is exactly what you said though, and like that was dated when they were doing it.
Right.
It's so you get kids like, and people older than us that are still like touring and like you have these expectations of how they're supposed to act and how they think other people think they're supposed to act, and then they just become these walking like facades,
Right,
and
what is-
cliches, and it's
what is the new
exhausting to be around.
What is the new edgy then? What is the new edge? Like, what is the new thing to do post show? Is it read a book?
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
You have a show
I
the
do like
next day.
sleep.
We read, we
Yeah.
talk,
I've been, you know,
Yeah.
I know plenty of musicians.
enjoy
and
each other's company.
I've been
like-
backstage many a time, and what people think happens backstage does not ever happen backstage. It's people on their phones, scrolling, texting, trying to find a decent place to grab
Yeah.
some food before sound check.
Yeah.
Hurry up and wait. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's really not very
The only bands that
exciting.
still do that are the bands that have been doing it for like 40 years, that are still touring.
It's also people in the audience that think about these
Absolutely,
things. Like,
because
like,
they think
when
they want to
someone-
believe it.
Yeah, like
It's-
someone will come up to you and they're like, "Can we come backstage with you?" And like, we're at a bar. There is no backstage. What are you talking about?
like, why do you think I'm sitting here right now?
Yeah.
There's no back.
Yeah.
Because you get to hang out with me, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is good stuff. Well, how many times do we have an opportunity to see Liily this week in Austin, Texas? Where can people catch you?
just
5 more
played-
times.
Yeah, with
5 more times.
shows.
Five more shows. Can you rattle off a couple of them
We're
that
playing
perhaps someone?
Waterloo Records tomorrow at 3. Tonight we
Here.
play at
Well,
Hotel
not
Vegas at 8.
We play here on Friday.
Here Friday
And Buffalo Billiards on Friday.
noon.
Okay, well, get out, catch Liily, because I'm assuming you got more coming. You just wrapped up your tour, but I'm assuming that more's coming down the pipe
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
So
yeah,
get
a
out,
lot
see him
more.
during South by
Yeah.
Southwest, because it might be your last opportunity for some time since they just wrapped things up. And don't expect to party after with the guys unless
No.
unless you guys are into green tea or something like that. But either way, it's cool, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by.
you,
Enjoy your
man.
time at South by Southwest. Strumbellas coming up in a few, so hang out and we'll be back in a few. Thanks.